Huh? What up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of Sitting on a Stoop, my weekly podcast, so to say. And I don't really have a set schedule of when I'm going to post this. It's been very difficult for me to be on a schedule with any type of series that I currently have, which mainly is just the 3 p.m. videos, my vlog, and this. I do occasionally post Brickmania and other random Lego stuff, but I mean, like, I don't really have a set time, and I've been finding it very difficult to even get close to a schedule. Working full-time 50 to 60 hours a week, it's very hard to keep up with content with this channel, and I noticed that when I don't post a lot of videos in the week, my channel doesn't do so great for that week. But I notice when obviously I post 5 or 6 videos that week, which hasn't been for a while, my channel does well. But I recently just hit 2K subs, so I'm not entirely complaining. I'm very grateful for that. So I appreciate all of you who have subbed to me and want to follow my content thus far in my life. So let's just get into the nitty-gritty of what's been going on. I listened to the last 2 episodes and I got pretty deep felt about what I've been saying, and I'm gonna just start on a lighter note this time, just so that we have some sort of not so deep content for once. So I'm gonna start with what got me back into Lego, because I guess a question that I've had a few times with people DMing me. Going to another topic that I'll bring into later is that what got me into Lego, and I've been a fan of Lego for a very long time, since I was a young boy. Like, I had a bunch of Lego sets from Castle, like the what was it, the Royal Knights, and what was the castle theme before that? Was it the dragon? I don't remember what they were. The Dragon Knight guys. I had that castle too. I had a lot of the original pirate sets, the Imperial flagship. When they started looking like red coats, not the blue version. I forgot sorry, my history of pirates is kind of vague. But I had the Imperial flagship. I even had the Armada, Imperial Armada pirates, like when it kind of looked like conquistadors for a little bit. I had all the Western sets, which Western is my favorite Lego theme. A lot of old city sets. I have Space Police. Oh wow, what else? Aqua Fighters, Aqua Zone. There we go. What else? Oh my god, I had a lot, and my wife could contest to what that is back there. My younger self version of it, she saw that back in high school, and comes to show you that it's okay to be yourself if you're a youngster out there and ashamed to be a Lego fan. Like my wife now, back then, I was, courting her, and she saw my Lego collection and thought nothing of it. I will say my fandom into that world did drop slightly, actually a lot. I was just spending my money in other places than Lego, but I still had them out. I still played with them up until, I think my last Lego sets that I purchased were the 1999 Star Wars sets, and then that was pretty much it. But that's because I just spent my money in other places than Lego. But fast forward to 2005, 2006. In 2004, I joined the Marine Corps right after high school, and by the time I was done with my training, showed it to my unit, I went to Iraq in 2005. And when I came back from 2006, I lost all my Lego. And well, when I went to Iraq, I put all my personal belongings in the storage unit to include everything that I had from a baby until present day 2005. That included a lot of my Lego sets, like a lot of them. And I was also into Warhammer 40k. I had like 4 different armies. painted. That was another one in there. I had drums, my violin that cost that's probably worth like at least 10 grand by now. It was a 100-year-old violin. And some other valuables that I can't replace, like pictures, albums, videos, my baby photos, like yearbooks, memories that I can't replace. Lego I can technically replace. I mean, I'm going to be spending a pretty penny for, but I had a lot of things in there that I can't replace at all. Which is the reason why, like, I film everything, I take photos of everything, is just because I'm afraid to miss this all over again. Because it's like I lost everything in a fire or in a tornado storm or whatever. But anyways, I left my mother like 12 checks to pay the storage unit. This is before automatic payments. So let's just say on the last month, second to last month, before I came home, my mom just missed the payment. They tried to contact me, and obviously I'm in Iraq, so I can't return a phone call. And long story short, they auctioned off my lot, which included everything that I owned up until that point in my life. And since then, I didn't want to touch a Lego set until last year, or when Assembly Square came out. That's pretty much when I got back in. But yeah, so I had a long period of a dark age, and I missed out on so many beautiful sets that I'm trying to get a hold of now, to include the Pirates 2 Imperial flagship, which goes for like $700 used. It's ridiculous. Let alone all the other sets I'm trying to get back that I used to have when I was younger. I'm trying to accumulate all the Western sets and some Pirate sets, maybe a Castle set or two, just to have for nostalgic reasons. But I missed out on a lot of good years of Lego, and a lot of bad years in Lego too, though. So anyways, I accumulated all the modulars that I missed out on, except for one, Market Street. But it's Market Street. Do I really care about that one? I could technically build that one from scratch. I mean, that set alone is like $1,000 right now, right? Maybe a little cheaper if it were to be used early. I mean, let's see, like I got Greengrocer. I think Town Hall was my most expensive modular that I had to get in the aftermarket, because like, it was more expensive than the Greengrocer and Cafe Corner. At least I got those two used, but I got Town Hall new, and yeah, those are pretty pricey sets back when I got them, and now they're even worse now, let alone Market Street. But Market Street's the only modular that I didn't get so far in my city, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get. But anyways, the modular series is what brought me back from Lego, because at the time I wanted to get Ezra off the iPad, which I completely failed. And by getting Assembly Square and the Parisian Restaurant, which were my first two Lego sets, back into the fandom, it started all that. So that's my little stint of getting out of Lego and back into Lego. And well, it kind of blossomed into this whole studio room that I currently have in this office. Was trying to get my son off the iPad, but I mean, it worked for a little bit, but he's technically still on it. I mean, he's going to be on that for a minute. Just kind of balance on how long he could be on it per day. But it got me into Lego hardcore to the point where I chose a different career path, which kind of bit me in the ass. Beside the point, it led me to the point where I am now, which is, do I regret the lifespan of what I've chosen in my life? Like last week, I stepped into my old company store, my old store, Urban Outfitters. Used to be a store manager there, and one of them that I used to run is in the same area where I currently work. So I decided to drop by because I had to kill some time to pick up my son. They weren't home yet, so with my in-laws, I went to the mall and I decided to pop by in the store. And I ran into some people that I missed dearly. And I looked at the store and I was like, should I have left? Or should I have stayed? I mean, when I was working there, I loved the staff. I loved the camaraderie and family that I've created. And it has grown with my peers. But in the end of the day, I was miserable. Like, I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. And I was pretty much at a point where I wasn't going to go anywhere. I was just stuck. So I wanted to do something different, which is the reason why the Lego opportunity came up. And it was just something completely new. And it was something that I wanted to immerse myself in which I did. And it failed because of what I am, which is a Lego fan. I'm not going to get into that. But It then led me to where I'm at now. And working for the post office, from the very beginning, it's a hard life. Like, it's not an easy one. It's very difficult. You got to think about it. Your postman's working forever in a day, and they're tired every day, and they're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. But when you're in the very bottom, like an assistant, or I guess you would say an apprentice is a better way to say that, it's just a hard life. And every mail carrier will tell you in the beginning you're working every day for a couple years, and it's been very hard for my family right now. Missing a lot. I mean, at least I'm home by 7 or 8 o'clock every night. I get to see them every night, and I don't have to work until 1 o'clock in the morning like I used to. I'm home in the evening to be able to kiss my kids to sleep. So that's a perk. And I didn't know at the time when I first started that I will be working Sundays and holidays, in which the post office does work 365 days a year. Mail still gets sorted 365 days a year. Mail delivered every day except for Thanksgiving and Christmas. We do deliver parcels on holidays and Sundays. So in case you didn't know that, we deliver Amazon pretty much 363 days a year, and we deliver UPS almost every day except for holidays, and we deliver priority 2 like during holidays or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I'm delivering parcels on all those days. At least it's time and a half. But there are some times when I've been walking forever, or when I don't think I'm gonna get a day off because I've been working 5-6 days in a row, and I'm like, am I gonna get tomorrow off, or am I gonna get next week off after 10 days of working? Or as his birthday's coming up, are they gonna allow me to have that day off? Which they did. So at least I'm getting that day off, because after a point I'm like, if this is gonna be it for the next 2 years, I don't want to miss the next 2 years in my baby and son's life. But then the other side of me is like, well, it's only temporary, because once you become a regular in the post office, you get your own route. You get Sundays off for the rest of your life unless you choose to work, and you get holidays off. And that's what I've been wanting for a long time, because I used to work during holidays in the retail environment. I used to work 60 hours a week and only get paid the same for 40 hours because I was salary. And I'm in an hourly pay rate right now. I'm in an hourly. I'm being paid hourly right now. So it does feel good to get overtime and B time, double time, because I do work 10 hours a day at least. So I am making half by hour than I used to, but because of overtime, I'm making close to, if not more, than I was making when I was salary. Does that make sense? So I'm being compensated for working longer, but I'm tired and I'm working all the time. So sometimes I'm like, is this worth it? And I do have family in the post office. I got cousins and uncles, and they're all like, just suck it up. And even the old timers at work, they're like, just suck it up. You'll there's lighting in the tunnel. And I mentioned this before in the past couple episodes that, there's lighting in the tunnel and I just got to get through it. So, but this past week, I've been contemplating, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, did I leave urban for this? And there are some good days and there are some bad days. But the bad days, like when you start diving in that hole of pessimism, it's a hard hole to jump out of. But when you see the optimistic point of view that I kind of see some carriers do, like I ask people sometimes at work before we head out, after we load our trucks or while we're loading our trucks, I'm like, hey, is today a good day or a bad day? And you can see in their faces, like the old timers, they'll say it's always a good day. In reality, they're gonna have a bad day. But they try to say, think positive and it won't be as bad. When you start thinking like this is crap, then you're gonna be miserable. And I try to keep myself thinking optimistically, because that's the best thing I can do, especially what I'm doing. So in the end of the day, I don't regret where I'm at right now, because I've met some good people both in Lego and in the post office right now that I would have never met if I stayed where I was. I still have the lasting relationships that I have with my old staff and my old peers in the other company, and I could always reach out if I need to, and I still talk to them, so it's not like I ever missed anything. I'm just now a straight friend. And now my circle of friends just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But there are some things, though, now that I am not in the leadership role, I'm like, I'll do that. As far as my supervisor is concerned, because obviously staff well-being is not the ultimate concern. with them. But I do get it. Mail is a priority because no matter what, mail needs to be delivered. I go on a tangent with that one, but it's been a rough week, guys. At the same time, I did bring my motorcycle to the shop because if you saw my last vlog, I got to kick it with my club for a little bit, and I did miss that. So I brought my motorcycle to the shop, and it's been a minute. Like, it's literally been a year and a half that I did any serious maintenance works. It's been a year and a half since. Sorry, it's late again. I'm doing this at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have to go to work in a couple hours. It's been a year and a half since my motorcycle's got some serious love or T&E, and it needs some new fork seals, and new fluid, it needs new brakes, tires need to be changed out. I need new grips. I mean, I can do a lot of that myself. I just don't have the time. That's the thing. I don't have the time to do my own oil change right now because I have a day off. There's one day off to do maintenance in my house, like fix doors, which I haven't done yet. Cut my grass, clean, just spend time with my kids, give my wife a break because I know she's about to lose it, like working from home full time and then working with the kids. It's hard. And I know she's feeling it too. So I'm not the only one who's tired. My wife is definitely feeling it too. So that's the other thing. Like, I called earlier today while I was on my route, and I was like calling to check in. And you can tell that my wife wasn't having it. The kids didn't go to sleep all day, and they're driving her crazy. And this is her day off, and she didn't have one. So it's been a rough one for her too, so I can definitely see that. But she sees the same thing. There's light in the tunnel, and it's something I want to do for the rest of my life. I push through it, or I find something better, and that's where I'm at right now. I either push through it, or I find something better. So I'm just stick with it until then. And going back to the motorcycle, my bike is at the shop, and it's gonna be there for maybe another week. But at least I got to bring it out, and I'm excited to pull that throttle on that freeway because every time you fix your bike up to where it needs to be, and you have like fresh new oil, new spark plugs, like just new everything in there, you pull that throttle, it's like it's a brand new bike. And I'm excited for that. And it got me thinking. Some people did DM me about some things, and I've had comments about this before, is how could you afford Brickmania? Let alone any of these third-party type of custom minifigures or third-party brands of Lego brands, because they are very pricey. You're paying, like Iceberg said it, you're paying artist prices for things like that. And I do buy Lego sets in the aftermarket. Those are retired sets, and you do pay a pretty penny for those too. To me, price is subjective. What would be expensive to some people is not very expensive to others. And I'm about to spend $580 on my motorcycle once I'm done with it. I mean, not many people would do that. Unless you're a motorcycle fan. I mean, I used to change out parts on my motorcycle like every other month. I would easily drop $1,000 on my bike every couple months. Easily. And I'm not doing that right now. I actually haven't done that for a very long time, which is the reason why I can afford all that right now. So, how can I afford this? Because for some reason, people are like dumbfounded as how I can afford all these Brickmania sets. I mean, it's not hard. I do have multiple sources of income, and I choose to buy this stuff instead of whatever else is out there. Like, I don't spend money on video games anymore. I don't buy a lot of clothes. It's just my free spending money just goes into that behind me. What little goes into my motorcycle and food and toys for Ezra and now Luna or whatever they need. That's first. But that's literally where all my income, my spendable income goes to, if I have it out there to spend. And I'm gonna make a video like why Brickmania is expensive, because some people forget about overhead and running a business. Like, that's why it baffles me when people are like, oh, it has to be 10 cents a piece with Lego. I'm like, come on. Like, you guys understand what costs Lego $1 to make for a $20 set? Yes, it costs them $1 to create that $20 set. The other $19 goes to other things like employee benefits, costs, rent, leases, marketing, salaries. Did I say benefits already? Artwork. There's just a lot of things that Lego has to pay for aside from what makes that set, like the box art. The time it took the box art, the designer's time to create the art that's on the box itself. Lego cost them $1 to make that entire set, but they're spending another, for that $20 set, I would say $18 or maybe $17 just on overhead, and then maybe the other $3 is profits or $2 profit. Brickmania has to do the same thing, except they don't. What cost Lego $1 to make that $20 set, as far as manufacturing is concerned, it costs them $10 to make that $20 set, which they would have to do the same overhead, same problems for a business. So that's why they charge 3 times the price, because they have to. So, and they're not making new Lego pieces in other countries like China or Mexico for North America. They're accumulating Lego pieces from the aftermarket of what AFOLs create. So if the AFOLs out there for brickling stores are selling pieces for a ridiculous amount of money, well, then they can only go off of that. They are not Lego. Lego has to pretty much get they could make whatever a million times fold, and they won't hurt for it. Whereas Brickmania, like, if as a fan community decide to make one piece $20, then if that's the piece they need to use, then, well, the community dictated what Brickmania's prices are. And in the end of the day, Kevin Hinkle said this correctly. Why are Legos so expensive? It's because you are willing to pay for it. And that goes for everything. Like, Brickmania is expensive. Like, the most expensive set they have right now is the AC-130, which I would love to have, but it's super expensive, and I have nowhere to put that into my office. Because everyone asks me, "I'm going to get the AC-130. I'm going to get the AC-130. I'm like, no, I'm not. The AC-130 is a $3,700 Lego set. $3,700 Lego set. That's a down payment for a car for a lot of people. And to me, that is expensive. Would I pay for it? Maybe. If I had the money inside, I probably would. But I didn't buy this LCAC. Like, they sent it to me to review, and I still haven't done that yet. The AC-130, people would buy that, and people have bought it. It released, and it was sold out. It was released for pre-order. They had like 10, 11 of them for pre-order, and they were sold out within a couple hours. People are willing to spend that money. Like, the Lamborghini that I'm looking at right here, it's what, $400 almost, 3 something. I bought it. Am I ever gonna open it? Probably. I just like looking at it right now in the box. I have the Bugatti still sitting right there, and I haven't even touched it. I like the way it looks in the box. Am I gonna open it? I hope so. But what I'm saying is, what you pay for art is which I consider this artwork or a median. It's subjective. Like, I will be glad to spend $20 on a Lego minifigure. A lot of people won't, but I appreciate the work and time that comes into whatever it is. And as long as it doesn't just fall apart or the quality is horrible, if there's serious love and effort put into a piece of work, I am willing to pay for it. No matter what it is, whether it's the artwork on my channel, courtesy of Kevin Hinkle himself, the Lego sets I'm seeing in front of me, the art piece that's sitting on my wall right here behind me, which you guys can't see, the motorcycle that I ride, the car that I drive. Prices out there are made to keep the person making it in business. Otherwise, they'll be doing it for free. And if it costs them a couple dollars to make, and they're selling it for $300, and if people buy it for $300, then why not? So I will make a video, I guess, maybe explaining why Brickmania is expensive, and it will be all, speculation, because I really don't know their numbers. But running businesses for a long time, for almost a decade, I can tell you firsthand how much profit a store would making $4 million a year. How much of that goes to overhead, and then what the company actually makes. I guess I'll say it. One of the stores I used to run made $4 million a year, right? I think in the end of the day, it only made $200,000 worth of profit, because the other ones went to salary, rent, leasing, insurance, product, like making the product, trucking, like a bunch of things that are just over, like, P&L statements is what I call it. What is it? profit and loss statements, things that we lose, things that were stolen, things that were destroyed, that damage out, employee benefits that came out of the store. So when the store made $4 million, the company only made a $200,000 profit. And you think about that, that's like, whoa. So that's a big thing. Like that's why like things are the price the way they are, is because, well, you got to pay for other things, and a lot of people don't know that. So that's the reason why I don't think 10 cents a piece, I mean, whatever. So you have a bunch of 1x1 pieces. Is that the same as a 2x6 brick? More plastic in the, in the brick than there are in the 1x1 plates. So, and same mold for the 1x1 plates. So you kind of see, like, I don't believe in the 10 cent per brick or whatever rule. It's just not something that I'm really big into. It just, if I look at something, is it worth me buying? It really comes down to if I really love it or not. And at this point, I'm bursting the seams with what's in my office right now. As I'm looking behind me, I got to be like very careful with what I buy, because right now how it goes is if it doesn't go in the city, if it's not on display immediately, I put it back in the box. I genuinely throw away a lot of my boxes, so if it has to go back in the box, I will probably destroy it first. I'll let Ezra play with it, and once it gets down to nothing after he's done playing with it, it gets sorted out into my collection of pieces, which I still need to do too. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the week. I mean, I've just been working a lot, and I'm dying for another day off. I mean, it's Ezra's birthday coming up this Wednesday, and we plan on going to the aquarium because he loves animals. He loves fish. We've been to the aquarium a bunch of times, and that's like his favorite place to go. So we're gonna go over there since they're allowing people to come back into the aquarium. So we're gonna knock that out, and then we're gonna celebrate his birthday on the 4th of July, which is on Saturday. Yeah, it is on Saturday. I'll be working, but I will join the family afterwards. At least I got Wednesday off. It was also my daughter Luna's 6-month or half birthday. I guess my wife likes to celebrate that. We did it for Ezra, so I guess we did it for her too. This past yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. And that 6 months went by quick, and a lot happened in 6 months. And in 2020, oh my God, you saw what happened in 6 months. I guess it's something I'm going to share with her one day, is that, hey, your first year here was not an easy one. Not only for us, but the world. And yeah, so where was I? I completely lost what I was saying. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm only at 27 minutes. I got a couple minutes left. I'm trying to keep this at like 30 minutes because I tried loading. That first episode that I loaded was about 40 something minutes, and that took forever to render. But I did get this Blue Yeti right here. So let me know if the audio quality is to your liking, because I'm trying to up my video quality as I progress in this channel's lifespan. But if you guys have any suggestions to anything that you would like to see in my channel, I mean, I do like to focus. Oh, there we go. I remembered something. Lego's coming out with a Technic Osprey. And if you don't know what an Osprey is, it's a military helicopter. And it baffles me that Lego would partner with Bell, which is the company that makes the Osprey, to make the Osprey. Because the Osprey is a military vehicle that they turned into a rescue chopper, which there's no such thing. Like in real life, the Osprey is a military helicopter. It's something that we use in the Marine Corps and no other branch, and I think the Canadians use one too in one of the branches. I don't know, but for us, the Marine Corps uses the Osprey. It replaced the Chinook, or it's replacing the Chinook, the Ep.3 Super Sound, which is right there. It's my favorite Brickmania set. It's supposed to replace that. I don't know. I mean, Lego did make a Chinook 2 Marvel set. That's a Chinook. That's exactly what it replicates, and they've done it a bunch of times in the city version. But I guess I've seen that vehicle in civilian attire. But the Osprey, though, that's a military helicopter. And it's funny that Lego won't admit to doing military things, or they try to shy away from it. I mean, they've done the Fokker and the Camel, the Sopwith Camel and the Fokker DR1, which is if you don't know what those are, you can definitely look in my channel with Brickmania. You can see that those are military World War I planes. And the Red Baron, who is a World War I ace for killing over, I don't know, 60 to 80 people, pilots, or planes, I guess you would say. They made a plane for that back in the early, 2000s, maybe? I don't know. I was in my dark ages again. So they've made military vehicles, and they've done Star Wars, which, yeah, they use blasters. I mean, it's a Star Wars. There's how much killing is in Star Wars, and it's a war. I know it's fantasy. It's not realism. You're still having children shoot each other with their toys. And Western, which is my favorite Lego theme, they had guns. They had pistols. They had rifles, like realistic rifles different from the muskets that they created in Pirates. So where does the line stand as far as Lego creating military vehicles? Not like I want them to do it. I probably don't want them to do it, but it's just that fine line is kind of like, let's make an Abrams tank and let's turn it into a rescue bulldozer. That's what I see when I look at that Technic Osprey. I'm probably gonna get it, and I'm probably gonna review it, and I'm probably gonna destroy it. Maybe throw it off, drop test it on my roof or something. But it's licensed by Bell, and Brickmania lost the license to Bell, or wanted the license to Bell to be able to make the Osprey again, because Brickmania did make an Osprey vehicle for the Osprey, and it looked beautiful, and then they couldn't do it anymore because Bell told them to stop. And then you look at Lego, and Lego made a Technic version, which, although it looks cool, it's not realistic like what Brickmania does. And I'm not trying to defend Brickmania, but I'm just saying, like, if Lego does military stuff, like, cool, but be real with it and don't sugarcoat it to make it attainable to kids or market it towards children, because ultimately you're still doing the same thing. You're giving them a military vehicle toy, which I don't see a problem with that, but I don't know where the moral standards on kids playing war with toys. Oh, that was a little rant. I'm probably gonna do a huge rant video on that when it actually comes out, because I do want to do one. I need to get my research right, and I need to get my facts correct, so that way I don't say something I'm not supposed to, as far as like factual evidence. But anyways, so I hope you enjoyed what I've said. I kind of just went everywhere with this today. It wasn't really a focus point on a big, deep thought topic like I had in the last two. I just kind of want to keep this one sort of light, because the last two were seriously heavy, like super heavy. And I definitely do have something that I wanted to talk about in detail, because one of my friends who I used to work with, we had a good conversation about what's going on in the political climate that's been going on. And I didn't really want to touch on any political topics in this podcast, but there was something that was said that I did want to address publicly, which was it would make an interesting topic. So maybe I might ponder into that next week. But if you made it with me all the way to the end of this, and if you were listening, I appreciate you. I love you, and I'll see you on the next Sitting on the Stoop. All right, guys. Peace.